Hello, everyone. Welcome to TFA Talking Point. Today, we will be talking live on YouTube concerning the issue that many Africans are holding on to. It's saying that developed countries are developed because they are blessed by God or they have so much resources. But I'm here to tell you that the only difference between a developed and less developed country is a positive change of mentality. That is the only difference between these two places, a developed country and less developed country. It's just a positive change of mentality. Many of us believe that we are suffering because God sent us to a particular country. If we all in less developed countries change our mentality positively, we will enjoy the blessing and the resources God gave to us. So I'm going to list some differences, how things are being done in developed country, because I happen to be in one. Cyprus is a developed country. When we talk about development, it's not about having some kind of buildings or whatsoever. Those who understand what development is all about, it will understand what I'm talking about. Development, we look at in terms of healthcare, education, infrastructure, like road, electricity, water, and all those things. How the common people are living. How are they treating the common people? How do they value human beings? That is what we call development. And when you look at them and see the way they operate, you will just discover that the main issue is a positive mentality that they all have. For example, they do not spend money to build a luxurious presidential palaces, but they spend the money to construct road, electricity to make sure that wherever their citizens are living, he or she should have electricity, constant flow of drinkable water, a good road, good health system, and education. These are their priority. But in Africa, we pay more attention to how the presidential palace will look, the convoy of a presidency's minister, even a divisional officers, forgetting and using the taxpayer money to buy bulletproof car vehicles, spending money to buy vehicles that will follow the president wherever he or she is going, instead of investing the money on the common people. They tend to spend all that on the people, on one particular person or particular group of people who are there to govern the common people. But they tend to squander everything. In developed country, people are not fighting to take position like they are fighting because there is no way for you to steal anything because everybody is accountable. But in Africa, because nobody is accountable, people are fighting to take push of responsibility because they have nothing to do but to gain. And those are some of the issues. I also came to discover that in developed country, all citizens are responsible. They hold on to their responsibility more than their right. But in less developed country, they hold on to their right. It is my right. Give it to me. It is my right. Forgetting about their responsibilities. And this is a failure and a problem. Because if you look at sanitation in less developed country, you discover that it boils down to this particular point. We have poor sanitation because nobody is responsible for his or her death. But in developed country, everyone is responsible for his or her debt. And they even pay what they call common charges for people to come and collect debt from your house. And I also came to discover that in developed country, people are well disciplined because the government and the institution are functioning very well. There is no bribery, no corruption, as it is in less developed countries. And that is what I am talking about, that the first thing we have to do is to change our mentality positively. If we change our mentality positively, we are going to eliminate a lot of things, and those things will help us to develop. One of the things we will eliminate will be corruption, embezzlement, laziness, laxity, spirituality, where you spiritual nearly everything. And instead for us to walk, we hold on to, believing that manna will fall from heaven. And we would change our educational system. Not just going to school to have pieces of paper as certificates, but going to school to solve a particular problem in the society. If we can change our mentality positively, to know that all the problems we are in, we have the solution, and we are the only people who can solve that particular problem, we are going to liberate our countries and make them developed, where we will value what we have and look up to how to manage it, where we will take away hatred, jealousy, envy, and wickedness. Stop killing our own. Stop pulling our own down, but pushing them up so that we can develop and join our hands together to develop our country. So it is a lesson that I just came across it and say, people are fighting. Millions of people have died in the days crossing the Mediterranean Sea from Asia and Africa to come to Europe, in which their own countries are far more better. But we have leadership that have not made conditions favorable for people to stay home. Because when you want to bring any change of mentality to help the people change and develop, the government will bring you down. They will fight you through all possible means. And we have to change from this particular issue. Africans in particular is a very rich continent. And the only thing we can enjoy what God has given us is for us to change our mentality toward each other. Love one another. Stop hatred. There are millions of people today from Africa who cannot return back home to their country because you are there waiting for them to poison them, waiting to kill them, waiting to destroy them. You are there, your own prayer every blessed day is for them to return back home so that you will destroy them. And this is the kind of mentality we are talking about. Another issue I came to discover is that what? In Africa, we individuals are very rich in Africa. When you come to Europe, you discover that many people are living not on their money. They borrow nearly everything, money to buy house. But you come to Africa, you discover that many buildings are owned by individuals, paid completely. They build their houses by themselves. But the issue that I came to discover is that we do not value many things in our lives, our health and our education. That is one of the issues. We value buying things that we cannot use, that are not necessary to us. You see somebody do not have money to pay children's school fees, but he or she is having dresses in the house, things in the house, pot, plate, a pan, and some kind of unnecessary things just to show up. And that is a part of life that is killing us a lot. Africans. It's killing us a lot. We just want to show to the world that we are rich. Why deep in our heart we have nothing. But we just want to show up. If they show you how much we are spending every year or every day for things that we do not need, if we can save those money, when we go to the hospital, we will not be crying. And we also have to change our educational system. The educational system that was handed over to us by the colonial master were for their own interests. If we change our mentality positively, we will join ourselves together and change the educational system. If we change the educational system, everything will be adjusted because we will have more professionals, people who will be doing this particular thing professionally, not the way they are today. So I am saying the only difference between developed country and less developed countries is a positive mindset. The way they reason is not that they have so much. They do not have. Most of the things they took it from Africa. Most of the things they took them from a third world country to develop their own country. And that is why they can never separate from less developed country. The greatest fear of any developed country is for less developed country to become developed. Because when they become developed, that is a bankruptcy to them. And they don't want to see it. So those who have to stand up and fight for it, we are the one. Those suffering because of less development. We have to do it. Stop our leaders, hold them accountable through our vote to change things.